What is smoking, Canna family? It is your host Dustin with Two Buds in a Jar, and today we're going to do a review of how to use the AC Pro 69 panel. Coming up next. Now the device can seem quite overwhelming with all of its auto triggers, modes, and settings, but today on Two Buds in a Jar, we're going to show you just how to do it quite simply. Okay, Canna family, let's start with the setup. First, plug in the sensor probe into the controller's 3.5mm jack. Then set the probe near your plant or plants in your grow area. Second, you're going to plug your devices into the UIS connector into one of the controller's ports. This is how the controller gets powered. Now you can plug your UIS devices, lights, fans, heaters, etc. power cord into an AC outlet. Looking at the screen at the top left to top right, you can see the port. Under this is your mode in. Moving down to the center, the large number is your probe temp. Just under that, to the right side, you'll see your probe's humidity. The number to the left is your VPD, Canna family. Now, starting at the top right-hand side, you can see your current time. Down one from that is your countdown timer, and the last one is the user settings. Now moving on to the buttons at the bottom of the device. The big button with the number 1 on it is port button. By pressing the cycles through all connected devices such as fans, lights, heaters, etc. Button number 2 is the mode button. This lets you cycle through the controller's programming modes. Now the next number, button number 3, is the setting button. Just as it sounds, cycles through the controller setting. And finally, button number 4 cycles up and down buttons. Simply just adjust the parameters of the mode of the setting that you are currently in. Now that'll do it for the overview, Canna family. Now we'll get into some of these modes, such as off mode, on mode, min or max level mode, auto mode with high-low temp setting and high-low humidity settings, VPD mode with high and low VPD settings, timer to on and off mode, and cycle mode with less. You just set short timers for most of your controls and schedule mode for a daily timer. Now, Canna family, that is a hell of a lot of modes. Now let's get into some of the settings. You can adjust display and brightness of your display, change from Fahrenheit or Celsius, adjust current clock time, or do it automatically. With the AC Infinity app, calibrate temp, humidity, reading your sensor probe is measuring, or cycle ranges with your VPD, leaf offset. This adjusts the sensor's VPD reading into 10 increments. Now moving on to the transition settings, that is how to adjust and how your device will shift between levels when triggered to run in auto mode, or use the buffer settings, which will create a gap for auto mode, humidity, or VPD that it triggers. Now let's talk about some of the device's shortcuts. Now let's say your settings are all out of whack and all messed up, and you just want to go back to factory settings. Just hold down all together the mode button, up and down buttons for 5 seconds for a factory reset. But wait, something's wrong. Your controller's locked. Don't panic. Just hold the settings button to lock or unlock your settings buttons. If you want to hide the screen while your controllers are locked, then press the settings button. By pressing the buttons again, that will turn the display back on. If you want to turn the current mode off, hold the mode button for 3 seconds. If you hold up for 3 or 2 seconds to reset the valve off your current mode or controller setting. And the next one, once you're in the mode, you can make adjustments by tapping the mode. Press the device you want to make change to. Make your adjustments, then done. Now, Canna family, let's get into the controller for the lights.
You gotta keep them separated.
That's right, thank you, Offspring. However, You have to keep them separated. Now, Harry had one hell of a problem, guys, because when he bought and had two cords and attached another AC Infinity product that involved a second light to a different tent, it reset. So every time, if you are in a grow process, whether it's vegetative, germination, flowering, or curing in this tent, you want to make sure that you do not hook any additional lights up to the specific panel that you're using. So have a separate panel would probably be a good backup plan. If not, don't hook up any lights if you already have a flowering cycle or a specific cycle set in your grow tent at home. Now, Canna family, we can finally get into all the advanced features and the environmental controls. Using the AC Infinity app, you can easily access advanced settings by simply selecting your mode, from seedling to vegetative to flower or even to drying, Canna family. Once you're in the mode, you can make adjustments by tapping the mode press, the device you want to make change to, make your adjustments, then press done, Canna family, and it's that simple. And just like that, we are back, Canna family. We got Harry with us today, and we're going to figure out, well, what is Dustin and Harry's opinion on AC Infinity? And that's a good question, Canna family. So getting right into it, I'll start first. I gotta say, I've grown for quite a while. I've used a lot of different tints, from Vivo Sun to Cali Grows to Mars Hydros to Spider Farmers, and I gotta say, from as far as quality overall, really reflective material on the inside, as far as the mylar insulation, it seems to be very light sealed. No light leaks. It's very strong, durable material. And that's kind of where I'm getting. It's one of the most durable, nicely made, I'd say constructed tents is where I'm getting at. It's a very well constructed, very strong, not flimsy with thin bars. It's got very thick, heavier bars to support. Of course, it's massive lights or it's heavier lights. So I do appreciate the construction of it. What do you think, Harry?
Well, I don't have a ton of experience growing in tents, so this is the first tent that I've got the chance to play with. But when I first heard of there's automation for my plants, I was like, "What? This is awesome!" Because I like the idea of automation and
Yeah.
having those more controls, well, especially while you're not around. Um, and it is awesome but there is things you have to look out for the problems with your updating. You have to be aware of plugging in more equipment, and definitely want to keep those lights separated.
Yeah, yeah, definitely. I gotta say, it's my first automated tent, Canna family. I haven't had many automated tents. I've had very basic setups before automation became a thing. And when I first purchased AC Infinity, I quickly learned that that was really the case with the product. So it does have, a multitude of parts and different devices. You can connect with the tent. It's really fascinating. They have anything from, your carbon filter and your fan to your different AC that is self isolating or oscillating, rather, I would
Are
say.
you talking about the terraformer?
No, the actual, just the fans you put in the
Oh,
tent's pretty nice. You got
the
your basic
oscillating
carbon,
fans.
yeah, and it controls, and you can control this guy's all from your phone. So that's another thing I like. It beats getting up and having to go check on your grow every 5 minutes.
And I do think AC
Yeah.
Infinity makes a great product, and they show great potential for making even better products. But there are, especially when it comes to environmental controls, I feel like there's just a little bit more information from your lung room to your environment, to because as your environment changes, that affects your lung room. And if your environment is really dynamic and has huge swings, then you have to kind of be there to manually adjust that and make sure it's staying at optimal conditions throughout your grow. If not, then it's going to keep it based on that environment. But if it was based on an environment of 60% humidity and now it's 20% humidity, it's not going to be able to keep up.
Yeah, I must say I agree with Harry. In order to do that, you'd need almost a separate panel and a probe outside the tent. And there's only one probe that really comes with your initial setup.
Well, you would need a more advanced setup, which would
Yeah,
cost more money.
yeah.
But if you and two, with I know they tried to put out that terraformer, which I keep looking around for, but can't seem to find. I don't know what happened with that. Maybe we'll find out one day.
Yeah, that was a 700 device that went to this tent, ladies and gentlemen. And that did what again? It was heating,
The
dehumidifying.
terraformer, from what I remember, was a dehumidifier, an AC, and a heater. Which is kind of
Jeez.
cool for your tent, because I feel like if you did have an AC and a dehumidifier made by AC Infinity, and then you had the heater and all these other things, it would be a lot easier to maintain that environment, at least inside your tent.
And that's ultimately what this tent does, ladies and gentlemen. It is a self sufficient tent as long as you understand the settings and you can set it. Now, you can get things right, particularly depending on how you set it up and if you have a room to dedicate it to or you're using your house. AC Infinity seems to be really nailing it just due to the fact that everything, like I said, is remotely controlled. You can either set it manually on the controls or you can set it within your app on your phone, which is really nice. You can hook anything and everything up to it. There's extra ports. There is also panels that wasn't mentioned in this video today that have more than 4 ports. So you can buy one with 8 ports, and that's about the biggest it gets. Other than that, you got to buy a separate USB, and it has more ports, and it allows you to plug more things into your device.
Right. Well, I think it would be important to say, so each port, say you have port 1 you're using for your lights, but you decide you want to add more lights. Well, if you put a light in port 2, port 1's still going to affect how those lights work. It's not like they're going to affect it differently because they're still lights. And on top of that, if you go and plug a fan into your light port and the port 1, now that fan's going to kind of behave more like your light, and you're not going to have the same functions as you would if it was in a fan mode. So
Yeah.
you got to have your fans all on one system, your lights all on one system, your dehumidifiers all on one system. It's better if you have everything on its own port so you don't get complications with trying to manipulate the devices later.
Yeah, honestly. And I mean, it's better to get everything again set up and going as how you want to grow it. The size of tent you need, the mini fans, the carbon filter, the intake outtake fans, or exhaust rather. You need to get all of that all at once and hook all this up, because if you find yourself in the middle of the grow and now you're like, well, I want to get a panel next week and my flowers are already growing or whatever, then you're going to run into some problems.
Do it first thing in the morning, like 5 minutes before your lights come on. Wake up early and just get it done like 5 minutes before your lights come on, and you won't have any issues. You might be a little bit earlier than what you were, but it won't be that much of a difference, so it won't be bad. But that's about it. That's really your only
Yeah.
or you keep your lights separated. Like that's the best way to go. Is this B-roll that you see right here? Separated lights.
Yeah. I must say that's a good application, because if not, you take the chance of resetting up your whole setup when it's digitally already programmed, and then you have to reset everything. But outside of that, I would say my only con about it. I mean, what are my cons about it is it needs videos to explain, like we're making for you guys today. I mean, it has its basic settings and then it's very advanced. So it's slightly complicated for like a newer grower. I could see how it could be overwhelming.
Well, there are guys who make videos. They're from the stash. They make some pretty good videos about
Oh,
Ace
okay.
Infinity. So if you guys want to check out Mr. Grow It, I can't remember the other two guys' names because I'm really stoned. Do you remember their names?
Pigeons 420. Mr. Grow It. And Rob from Cannabis Lifestyle TV.
Yeah, I think Basement Grows is another one.
Basement Grove.
Yeah, Basement Grows is a good series that uses AC Infinity. I can't think. I mean, they're out there. I know AC Infinity, I believe, has a YouTube channel. I'm not sure. I think they do. I haven't really checked into that, guys. I apologize. I just checked on their website and bought, a bunch of their products, or went to my local hydroponic and garden store and, went and got one. But I mean, it's not necessarily local. We had to travel a couple cities away, but anyway. So outside of that, I gotta say the only con I have about it is, besides the smaller things like the jeweler's loop, the trimmer, the trellis net for like lollipopping, flowering, scrogging, things of that nature. Everything's relatively a little pricey, but I can see because it's the quality. Now, at first, when I put my initial investment in tent, I can't believe how much money I spent. But looking at what I have and the quality, it's kind of just worth it. I mean, because you're buying quality products. We're not endorsed by AC Infinity by any means. We wish we were. That'd be cool. But
Cool.
I'd love to be. I love their products personally. But they are a little initially pricey on the first costs and initial setup. But when you start growing and you get the hang of it and you're pumping beautiful flowers out your tent, you feel a good sense of accomplishment that you've placed your money into a quality product, I gotta say. We're back to the review, and guys, I gotta say, I think they nailed Mother Nature. Personally, they set up a panel and many devices where you can mimic any type of weather outside. I think they definitely nailed it as a product, as growing company. They're more so focused on, digital intakes and outtakes and, their products that they build as far as, what they first got started and recognized from. But they did great work. I think the tent mimics Mother Nature, like I said, very well. It's made out of all heavy materials. It's really sturdy. And I gotta say, between 1 to 5 on the stars level, I got to give it 5-star quality here on Two Buds in a Jar. I think not only the AC Infinity 69 Pro panels, amazing, and operates just like Mother Nature, but I do think that all the devices they make are really ergonomic and just great to grow with, and it's very high quality. It's definitely not flimsy or junky. So they're definitely one of the best tents, and if you're looking in the market to spend some money and have a nice grow tent, I highly recommend it, Canna family. And that'll finally wrap up this episode of the AC Infinity 69 Pro panel. I hope you guys learned from it and it became a lot easier for you to use. We have got 585 subscribers. Thank you guys so much for all the likes, shares, and comments that you leave down below. We really greatly appreciate it. Truthfully, we never thought we'd get this far, but here we are, and we're going to keep pumping the content out for you. Until then, I'm going to go make another video for you guys, and my name's Dustin from Two Buds in a Jar, and I'm burning out. I'll see you next time.
Yeah, got my neck and wrist frosted. All day, all night too. Need a beat to write to. Knock 'em out like Mike Goon. MVP like Michael. Money stacking, it's loaded up. Parks looking all swollen up. New Lambo, I'm rolling up. No stopping, no slowing up. I went hard, that cash came. Got a new big ass chain. Take what I want, no ass game. Live it up in that fast lane. Do this shit for my people. Get that money, all we know. Money never finito. Keep on boosting my ego. Steph Curry with the free throw. When I turn my swag on, this shit should be illegal. Stepping out the whip, I'm looking sharper than the needle. And all them bitches on me keep on swelling up my ego. I spit fire in the boot when I'm higher than Mariah off that goose. Punchlines hitting hard and chipping toots. Baseline kicking harder than some steel toe boots. Stacking bitches in the backseat of the 4-door coupe. You know them haters who mean shit to me. You gotta be kidding me. Ain't nobody stopping me from securing this victory. And I ain't stopping till the shit I'm dropping, making history. And every time they talking about somebody got my neck and wrist frosty. Don't know what it cost me. I've been on the grind, nigga, get these haters off me. I've been on the grind, that's why niggas so saucy. I've been on the grind, that's why niggas so bossy. Neck and wrist frosty, don't know what it cost me. I've been on the grind, nigga, get these haters off me. I've been on the grind, that's why niggas so saucy. I've been on the grind, that's why niggas so bossy. Stay up on the grind, dollar bills up on my mind. Yeah, I do this all the time. Always knew I had to shine. When I pull up in the whip, got a shawty so fine. Got them diamonds on my wrist, making niggas go blind. I just wanna do it big, bigger than they ever did. Couple million on the crib, no one knowing where he live. I'm so far above the space, pull up in a spaceship. Speakers blowing out your eardrums when the bass hit. All them bitches wanna taste, they just wanna gossip. Yeah, the way he drip, think he was a faucet. I'm so on that bullshit, competition forfeit. You would think you at the mall looking through my closet. Yo, my neck and wrist frost. All day, all night too. Need a beat to write to. Knock 'em out like Mike do. MVP like Michael. Money stacking, it's loaded up. Parks looking all swollen up. New Lambo, I'm rolling up. No stopping, no slowing up. I went hard, that cash came. Got a new big ass chain. Take what I want, no ass game. Live it up in that fast lane. Do this shit for my people. Get that money, all we know. Money never finito. Keep on boosting my ego.
It's your host, Justin, from Two Buds in a Jar, and don't do drugs, kids.
So your cover stop.
Yeah.